You know that saying, mess with my family and you're done? Yeah, I never really believed it applied to me until a few months ago, until they messed with my little sister. I'm Mike, 24, and I'm just your average guy, working, paying bills, trying to figure life out. But my younger sister, Emily, she's my world. She's 17, sweet, shy, and honestly too kind for her own good. She's the kind of girl who will defend a stray dog in the rain, but won't stand up to people who push her around. And I had no idea just how cruel people at her school could be. The night that changed everything started like any other. I was on the couch, half asleep with some crappy TV show playing in the background, when I heard the front door slam. Emily ran past me, her makeup smeared from crying, her hoodie soaked like she'd been caught in a storm. But there was no storm. She'd been running. I followed her to her room and knocked. Em, what happened? She didn't answer. I heard muffled sobbing. When I finally got her to open the door, I saw it. Her phone was in her hand, buzzing nonstop with notifications. Someone had posted a video of her, humiliating, cruel, and disgusting. They'd dumped paint on her in the school parking lot while a group of kids laughed and recorded everything. It was all over social media, with hundreds of comments tearing her apart. Something inside me snapped. I swear, I could feel the heat in my chest as I scrolled through the comments. Loser, freak, pig. These weren't just random trolls. I recognized the names. Jake, Tyler, Jessica, the school's golden kids. The ones with rich parents, nice cars, and zero consequences for anything they did. They'd been bullying Emily for weeks. But this was next-level cruelty. I wanted to storm over to their houses right then, but Emily grabbed my arm. Her voice was shaking. Please, don't make it worse. They'll just laugh at me more. That broke me even more. She was scared of them. I hugged her and promised something I wasn't sure I could even deliver. Emily, I won't let them get away with this. I don't care what it takes. They'll pay for what they did. And that's when it started. The anger in me turned into something cold, sharp, and calculated. I wasn't just going to confront them. I was going to dismantle their entire little empire of popularity, lies, and fake smiles. And believe me, I had no idea how far I'd end up going. After that night, things got worse, way worse. I thought the video would fade after a few days, like all stupid high school drama, but it didn't. It blew up. Kids started making memes out of it, editing her face into humiliating photos, and sharing them on group chats. Some even posted her home address in the comments with captions like, "Visit the freak show." Emily stopped eating with us. She barely left her room. The girl who used to sing along to cheesy pop songs while making pancakes on Sunday mornings now just sat on her bed, staring at her phone like it was a weapon aimed at her. One morning, I found her crying in the bathroom, clutching her phone like it burned her hands. "Em, give me that," I said, gently taking it. What I saw made my stomach turn. There were over 200 messages in one group chat alone, all from kids at her school, telling her she should just disappear or do everyone a favor and die. And leading the pack? Jake, that rich, arrogant piece of trash who thought he ruled the school because his dad owned half the businesses in town. I tried to calm her down. "They're just idiots, Em. They don't know you like I do. None of this means anything." She looked at me with eyes so broken, I'll never forget it. "You don't get it. Everyone believes them. I'm a joke now. I don't even want to go back to school." That hit me like a punch in the gut. This wasn't just bullying anymore. This was psychological warfare. And my sister was losing. I decided to talk to the school administration. Big mistake. The principal gave me some nonsense about how kids will be kids, and we can't control what happens online. Translation? Jake's family donates a ton of money to the school, so their kid is untouchable. I walked out of that meeting more furious than I'd ever been. That night, Emily didn't come out for dinner. I knocked, worried. When she finally opened the door, her eyes were red, and her phone was on the floor. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered. Those words scared the hell out of me. That's when I realized I couldn't wait for someone else to fix this. The school didn't care. Her so-called friends didn't care. But me? I cared more than anything. That night, as Emily slept, I sat at my computer, scrolling through Jake's Instagram. His perfect, polished life stared back at me. His flashy car, his expensive watch, his stupid grin. I started digging, looking at who he followed, who commented on his posts. And then, I found it, something small, but promising. A picture from a wild party, hidden deep in someone else's tagged photos. Jake and his crew, holding red cups, doing things that could easily get them expelled if the right people saw it. A thought hit me like lightning. If they could destroy my sister's life online, I could destroy theirs. But I wasn't going to rush in like an idiot. No, I needed a plan. Something so calculated that they wouldn't even know it was me until they were standing in the ruins of their perfect little lives. And trust me, I was just getting started. I've never been the revenge type. But that night, staring at Jake's smug face on Instagram, something inside me shifted. It wasn't rage anymore, it was focus. Cold, sharp focus. I spent the next few days learning everything I could about Jake and his crew. I started with the obvious, social media. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. These kids lived online, and they were careless. Every party, every stupid thing they did was somewhere on the internet if you knew where to look. Jake's two best friends, Tyler and Jessica, weren't hard to profile. Tyler was the type who thought he was invincible, posting videos of him speeding in his dad's car, smoking at parties, and bragging about cheating on exams. Jessica? She was the queen bee, perfect on the surface, but I noticed cracks. Fake followers, shady DMs from older guys, and even screenshots of her trash-talking her best friends. I started making a map. Literally. I pinned every weakness I found. Tyler's illegal stuff, racing, vaping, vandalism. Jessica's fake accounts and toxic messages. And Jake? Oh, he was hiding the biggest skeletons. I found out that Jake's dad, Mr. Thompson, was a local big shot. Real estate, restaurants, even a car dealership. But in the comments of a photo Jake posted, someone mentioned your dad's shady deals. That caught my eye. A few hours of digging through online forums and old news articles, and boom, rumors about bribes, unpaid workers, and even lawsuits his dad paid to bury. That's when I knew I could hit them where it hurt. But I didn't want to just nuke them from the start. No, that would be too easy. I wanted them to suffer, to feel what Emily felt. Humiliation, paranoia, betrayal. I wanted to break them apart from the inside. So, I made my first move. I created a fake Instagram account. Just a simple, clean profile. An attractive girl from a neighboring school. I knew Tyler's weakness. Girls who gave him attention. It took less than a day for him to follow me back and start DMing me. Within 3 days, I had screenshots of him trashing Jake and Jessica behind their backs, bragging about hooking up with someone else's girlfriend, and even admitting to cheating on multiple tests. Then I made a second account. This one was a guy, someone cool, who seemed like the type Jessica would want to impress. Same thing. Within days, she was complaining about Jake's ego, calling Tyler an idiot, and even sending flirty selfies. And just like that, I had the first pieces of my puzzle. I didn't send anything yet. I just saved everything, screenshot after screenshot, building my arsenal. Meanwhile, I started paying attention to Emily again. I noticed she was slowly getting better, still quiet, but at least eating meals with us. I didn't tell her what I was doing. She didn't need to know. Not yet. Every night, I sat at my desk like a hunter, watching their every move. It wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about control. And for the first time, I felt like I was winning. Next, I needed to find a way to divide them. If I could make them turn on each other, everything would fall apart faster. And I already had the perfect way to start. The first rule of revenge? Patience. You don't hit hard right away. You let them crumble piece by piece. I spent a week preparing the perfect storm. My fake accounts were thriving. Tyler was still flirting with my girl, sending voice notes and photos like the idiot he is. Jessica was spilling her queen bee secrets to my fake guy. And I had enough screenshots to make both of them look like snakes. But I didn't just want to expose them. I wanted them to doubt each other, to start turning their claws on one another without even knowing I was pulling the strings. So, I crafted my first move. Using a throwaway email, I anonymously sent Jessica a few screenshots of Tyler's DMs with my girl, with a note. Thought you should see what your friend says about you when you're not around. The next day, I saw the cracks forming. Jessica posted a cryptic Instagram story. Fake friends are worse than enemies. Tyler replied publicly with, LOL, don't believe everything you see. The tension was visible, and I hadn't even started the real fun yet. Next, I turned my attention to Jake. Jake was harder to mess with. He wasn't the type to spill secrets in DMs. But he had one weakness, his ego. I created a fake account pretending to be from a rival high school, someone who claimed to have dirt on Jake. I sent him a vague message. Funny video of you at that party. Wonder what the principal would think. His response? Panic. Within minutes, he deleted old posts, messaged his friends in their group chat, and started asking who could have leaked anything. I wasn't even sure what video he thought I meant, but his paranoia was priceless. And speaking of that group chat, I had managed to sneak into it. How? Tyler. Remember my fake girl? I played him like a fiddle. After a few days of flirting, I convinced him to send me a screenshot of their chat to prove how cool he was. Big mistake, buddy. One screenshot, and I was in. That chat was a goldmine. They trashed not just my sister, but even their own friends. I had lines like, Jessica calling Tyler a useless clown. Tyler saying Jake was a spoiled rich brat who'd be nothing without his daddy's money. Jake calling Jessica desperate and fake. This wasn't just ammunition. It was a nuclear bomb waiting to go off. I decided to pull the trigger, slowly. Using a new anonymous number, I sent Jake a few screenshots of Tyler's messages about him. Then I sent Jessica Tyler's insults about her. And to Tyler, I sent him Jake's desperate and fake line. By the end of the week, their friendship was burning down. Snarky comments on social media, short replies, side eyes at school. I watched it all unfold like the director of a twisted little movie. But this was just the appetizer. The real chaos was yet to come. I had something bigger planned, something that would not only break their group, but make them hated by the entire school. And it all started with their next party. The night of their party felt like the perfect moment to pull the trigger. Jake's crew was hosting a VIP house party at his place. Basically an excuse for them to show off their parents' money and make everyone else feel like peasants. Emily didn't want to hear about it, but I did. I needed to. Because this was where I'd deliver my first real blow. By this point, I had a folder on my laptop labeled Payback. Inside, dozens of screenshots from their group chat, filled with the kind of trash talk that could ruin friendships instantly. And I wasn't just going to expose them. I was going to do it in a way that no one could trace back to me. Here's how it went down. First, I made a fake email account and set up an automailer. I timed it to send the group chat screenshots to half the students at their school, the principal, and, just for good measure, Jake's dad's business email. I added a simple line in the subject, the truth about your golden kids. Then I waited. The first ping on social media came less than an hour into their party. Someone posted one of the screenshots, Tyler calling Jessica a two-faced wannabe queen, and tagged her. Within minutes, more screenshots popped up. Jake's insults, Jessica's fake apologies, Tyler's bragging about cheating on exams. It was all out there. And the best part? Nobody knew who leaked it. While Jake's party raged on, his perfect crew was imploding. I was getting live updates through Instagram stories. Jessica yelling at Tyler in front of everyone. Tyler storming out. Jake trying to do damage control, but failing miserably. People were filming the drama and uploading it faster than I could refresh my feed. I sat back on my couch, sipping a soda, watching their little empire crumble in real time. Emily didn't know what was happening, but I saw her scrolling through her phone, smirking for the first time in weeks. That was all I needed to keep going. But I wasn't done. Not even close. The next day, the screenshots were all over the school. Teachers were questioning Tyler about his cheating. Jessica's best friends weren't talking to her anymore. And Jake? He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. Still, I wanted more. I decided to hit Jake where it would hurt most, his reputation and his dad's precious business. Because while high school drama fades, a public scandal, that leaves scars. And I already had the perfect plan brewing. If Jake thought the school drama was bad, he had no idea what was coming next. I'd spent a few days collecting everything I could on his dad, Mr. Thompson. Turns out, the guy had plenty of skeletons in his closet, lawsuits from former employees, whispers about bribing a building inspector, and some shady real estate deals that never made the news because he paid to keep them quiet. The key to revenge is not just knowing what to hit, but when to hit it. And Jake's family name was the perfect target. I started with small steps. Using another fake account, I pretended to be an anonymous, concerned citizen and dropped hints on a local town forum about corruption in the Thompson family. Nothing specific, just enough to get people talking. Then I sent an anonymous tip to a small but hungry local journalist. At the same time, I turned the heat up on Jake. From my fake number, I sent him a message. I know what your dad is hiding. Payback is coming. He freaked out. I know because Tyler, still texting my fake girl, mentioned in a DM that Jake had been losing his mind, calling random people, trying to figure out who was behind everything. He was paranoid. Perfect. But I wanted a bigger explosion. So, I planned my next move to hit him both socially and personally. See, while digging through their chats, I found something nasty. A secret prank they had planned for Emily. It was supposed to be the ultimate humiliation at the upcoming pep rally. They were going to fake a romantic note from a popular guy and make her show up in front of everyone, thinking she had a secret admirer. Yeah, not happening. Instead, I flipped the script. I used their own messages to create a little mystery package for the principal and some teachers. Inside were screenshots of the prank plan, evidence of Tyler's cheating on tests, and a few of Jake's racist jokes that I found buried deep in the chat history. I sent it all from a burner email. The fallout was instant. Tyler got suspended on the spot for academic dishonesty. Jake was called into the principal's office along with his dad. And Jessica? Well, she wasn't exactly looking like the queen bee anymore when the entire school found out about her role in the prank. But I wasn't done twisting the knife. I arranged for a little surprise during the next school assembly. A mass email sent to every student, teacher, and parent, exposing the prank plan and calling out the bullies by name. I scheduled it to send while Jake and his friends were sitting there, thinking they were untouchable. And when it hit, the gasps, the whispers, the stares, they were the ones being humiliated this time. Emily wasn't the victim anymore. They were. But the real bombshell was still on its way. Because the journalist I'd tipped off about Mr. Thompson, he was about to publish something that would shake their entire family. By now, the Golden Kids were officially at war. After the mass email at the assembly, the entire school turned on them. I heard from a friend's younger brother that Jake, Tyler, and Jessica couldn't even walk through the halls without getting dirty looks or hearing whispers. The perfect image they had built for years had crumbled overnight. And the best part? They didn't know who to blame. Jake suspected Tyler. Tyler suspected Jessica. And Jessica? Well, she was convinced that Jake had thrown them all under the bus to save himself. I could see the tension boiling just by watching their social media. Tyler posted a story with the caption, "Snakes everywhere. Watch your back." Jessica responded with a TikTok where she used that trending sound, "You're not my friend, you're my enemy." And Jake? He went radio silent, which told me one thing. He was plotting. Good, because so was I. But I wasn't done pushing their buttons. Remember the fake accounts I made? I used them to accidentally leak a few more private DMs. Conversations I had carefully edited to make them look even worse. In one fake screenshot, it looked like Tyler was blaming Jessica for everything. In another, it looked like Jake had told someone he planned to frame Tyler for cheating. Within days, their group chat was dead. They weren't even speaking. Meanwhile, the journalist I'd tipped off about Mr. Thompson called his bluff. He published an article online titled "Local Business Mogul Accused of Corruption and Bribery." It wasn't front-page national news, but in our small town, it was an explosion. Everyone was talking about it. I knew Jake was panicking because, through Tyler's DMs with my fake girl, I saw that Jake had a meltdown, yelling that someone was out to destroy his family. He wasn't wrong. But while all this chaos swirled, I made sure to focus on Emily. She was finally starting to heal. She'd even gone out with a few real friends, smiling like her old self. I didn't tell her about what I was doing. She didn't need to know. She just needed to feel safe again. Still, I wanted to make one thing absolutely clear. Those bullies weren't just going to lose their reputation. They were going to lose everything. And I had one final trick up my sleeve to finish the job. When people get desperate, they show their true colors. And Jake? He was starting to show all of his. After the article about his dad dropped, Jake's world went into freefall. His father was furious, yelling at him in public outside the school. Yeah, someone caught it on video, and it went viral locally. For a kid who thrived on being untouchable, Jake looked broken. But he still had that toxic pride. Instead of admitting he was losing, he decided to save himself, even if it meant burning his friends alive. The first crack came when Tyler confronted him at school. Apparently, Jake accused Tyler of being the traitor who leaked everything. Tyler, of course, denied it and called Jake a liar in front of everyone. Jessica jumped in, screaming at both of them, accusing Jake of letting her reputation get dragged through the mud. And I was sitting at home with a bag of popcorn, watching the chaos unfold on Instagram Live. Jake's big move came 2 days later. He went to the principal's office and spilled everything. Tyler's cheating, Jessica's bullying, every single prank they'd planned. He even claimed Tyler was the one who sent those screenshots to the whole school. He sold out his best friends like they were nothing. I saw it coming, but I didn't stop it. Why would I? This was better than anything I could have planned. But I wasn't going to just sit back. Oh no, I had one more card to play. Remember all that dirt I collected? Jake's fake college application, where he'd exaggerated his grades and lied about volunteering. Yeah, I sent that straight to the admissions office of the fancy university he was bragging about. I attached screenshots of his racist comments and his involvement in bullying my sister. A week later, he got a letter. His admission was revoked. He didn't post anything about it, but I knew. How? Because Tyler's DM girlfriend, a.k.a. Amy, got the whole rant. Jake was losing his mind. Meanwhile, the article about Mr. Thompson was gaining traction. A local news station picked it up, and soon the story wasn't just gossip, it was a public scandal. His father's company started bleeding clients, and people were questioning whether he'd face charges. Jake was spiraling. Jessica was ghosting everyone, trying to save her own image. Tyler was suspended and practically hated by half the school. And Emily? She was smiling again. But I wasn't done yet. There was still one final, devastating blow I was preparing. Something that would leave Jake and his little empire in ashes. This was it. The final strike. Everything I'd done so far was just leading up to this moment. Jake's life was already in flames, but I wanted to make sure there was nothing left to rebuild. He'd ruined Emily's peace, almost broke her spirit, and I wasn't about to let him walk away with just a few bruises to his ego. The plan was simple but brutal. Over the weeks, I had collected every piece of dirt on Jake and his friends. Videos, screenshots, voice notes. I compiled it all into one explosive package. Clips of Jake bullying Emily, pulled from videos the idiots themselves posted. Screenshots of Tyler's cheating and his confessions about drug use. Jessica's toxic messages, including ones where she insulted half the school. And the crown jewel, a leaked document proving Jake's dad had bribed an inspector to cover up a safety violation at one of his construction sites. I didn't just post this somewhere random. No, I built a website. A clean, simple page titled, The Truth About Jake Thompson and His Crew. I uploaded everything there and scheduled it to go live on a Friday night, when everyone in town would be glued to their phones. But that wasn't all. I sent the link to every student, every parent, every teacher, and, for good measure, every local news outlet. Within minutes, the site was blowing up. The story spread like wildfire. People were sharing screenshots, memes, videos. Jake and his little gang were trending in our town. The chaos was immediate. The next morning, I heard that Jake's dad had called an emergency meeting with his lawyers. The construction scandal was already being investigated, and clients were canceling contracts left and right. As for Jake, he didn't show up to school. Word was, his parents took his phone after he trashed his room in rage. Tyler and Jessica tried to save themselves, but it was too late. They both recorded tearful apology videos on Instagram, but no one cared. Their reputations were dead. I'll never forget the look on Emily's face when she saw the site. At first, she was shocked. Then, slowly, she smiled. The biggest, most genuine smile I'd seen in months. "You did this?" she asked quietly. I didn't admit it outright. I just shrugged and said, "Bad people always get what's coming to them." But deep down, I knew this was my masterpiece. Jake wasn't just beaten. He was erased. And for the first time, I felt like Emily was free. The day after the website went viral, everything felt different. Emily woke up smiling. Not just a small smile, but that bright, goofy grin she used to have before all of this started. She came down for breakfast humming a song, like the weight of the world had finally lifted off her shoulders. That moment alone made every sleepless night worth it. As for Jake and his crew, they were done. Jake's family name was trashed. His dad's company was facing investigations, and Jake's own future was in ruins after the college rejection. Tyler's parents pulled him out of school, probably hoping a fresh start would fix him, and Jessica vanished from social media entirely, probably hiding from the storm. Me? I felt lighter. I won't lie. A part of me worried I'd gone too far. But then I'd remember Emily's tear-streaked face the night she came home broken, and I'd realize I did exactly what needed to be done. Nobody was going to hurt her like that again. And something unexpected happened. I started to feel proud of myself. All the tech skills I used to bring them down, I realized I could use them for something good. So I started freelancing, web design, cybersecurity, even helping small businesses protect themselves from online scams. Turns out, revenge taught me how to make a living. Emily, meanwhile, started to thrive. She joined a local art club, made a few real friends, and even started smiling when her phone buzzed instead of flinching. Seeing her happy again felt like a second chance for both of us. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Emily leaned her head on my shoulder. "You know, Mike," she said softly, "I don't think I'd have made it through all of this without you." I smiled. "You don't need me to save you anymore, Em. You're stronger than you think." But deep down, I knew I'd do it all over again if I had to. Because family is worth fighting for. And as for me, I was done with revenge. For now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Did he do the right thing?